79-year-old Harriet found herself sitting in her living room one afternoon, staring at an old photo of herself and her late husband on their wedding day. It had been a decade since she'd even considered meeting anyone new. The quiet of her home felt heavier than usual, especially now that most of her friends were busy with their grandchildren or dealing with their own health challenges. On a whim, Harriet had signed up for a local senior singles event, but the very thought of actually going made her stomach flip. She wondered whether she'd be judged for wanting companionship again, and that fear almost made her tear up the RSVP. At the same time, her heart ached for simple, genuine connection. Someone to talk with over breakfast, to share stories with on the porch in the late afternoon. It wasn't just about avoiding loneliness. It was about feeling fully alive again. If you've ever felt that tug, the desire to explore new relationships in your later years, yet wrestled with uncertainties and doubts, you're not alone. Dating after 75 can feel like navigating an entirely different world compared to how things were decades ago. The fear of judgment from family, the worry that your health issues might scare someone away, and the persistent thought, is it even worth it at my age, can weigh heavily. Some seniors decide it's safer to avoid the whole thing, retreating into a routine that's predictable but lonely. Others jump in unprepared, risking heartbreak or disappointment that can feel even more devastating in this stage of life. The stakes are high. We're talking about your emotional well-being, your daily happiness, and even your sense of purpose. No one wants to spend their golden years feeling isolated or regretful about missed opportunities. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore 5 of the most common dating mistakes seniors make after 75, mistakes that often lead to unnecessary heartbreak, confusion, or even giving up on love entirely. But here's the good news. Each one of these pitfalls can be turned around into a moment of positive change, a stepping stone toward more fulfilling connections. We'll talk about misconceptions, share real stories of seniors, like Harriet, who have stumbled and then found their way, and offer concrete steps you can take to date with confidence and hope. Stick around for the final point, because it's the one that surprises people the most, and might just open your heart in ways you never expected. I've spent years talking with seniors who have found late-life companionship, and those who are still searching for it, and I've seen the difference that just a few key insights can make. It's not about giving you a one-size-fits-all rulebook. It's about gently challenging some outdated beliefs and revealing new perspectives that will help you find or renew meaningful connections at any age. If at any point you discover an insight that speaks to you, feel free to pause, reflect, and even jot it down. Before we dive in, I'd love for you to take a small step to stay connected. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so now and tapping the notification bell. And if you're feeling up to it, let me know in the comments if you're optimistic about senior dating. Type 1 if you're open to the possibilities, or 0 if you're skeptical. Your feedback helps me make these conversations more relevant and encouraging for you. Now let's embark on this journey together and shine some light on the 5 biggest dating mistakes many seniors make after 75 and how you can avoid them. Mistake number 1 often sneaks up on seniors who think they already know it all about relationships, assuming that dating at 75 or older should look the same as it did at 25, 35, or 45. It might sound harmless at first. After all, love is love, right? But the truth is, our needs, perspectives, and even our communication styles evolve so much as we gain life experience. We might think we can simply rely on the old rules of dating, find someone polite, go out for dinner, chat about our past, and see if sparks fly. Yet if we carry decades-old dating habits or expect things to naturally unfold without adapting to our current stage of life, disappointment can creep in fast. Many seniors believe dating is all about searching for someone who mirrors their former spouse or who fits a mold they had when they were younger. This might lead to overlooking potential connections that don't match that exact image. The truth is, dating now is less about building a whole life from scratch, like starting a family or forging a new career, and more about companionship, shared interests, and emotional support. One of my friends, Louisa, who's 78, put it perfectly. I realized I wasn't looking for someone to have children with. I was looking for someone to share quiet Sunday mornings, flip through old photo albums, and talk about the world we've lived in. Take Albert, for instance. He's 82 and lost his wife 4 years ago. In his mind, the only women worth pursuing were those who reminded him of his late spouse. Same physical build, same sense of humor, even the same hobbies. He went out on date after date, but he found himself frustrated. No one seemed quite right. He missed the subtlety that life had changed not just for him, but for everyone in his age group. It was only after speaking with a neighbor who'd been dating successfully for years that Albert realized he was chasing an illusion, a younger version of himself and a carbon copy of his wife. When he let go of that image, he discovered companionship with a woman who was quieter, more introspective, and had interests in gardening and painting, hobbies that brought them closer than he ever expected. They now spend weekends visiting art galleries and planting new flowers, sharing a sense of discovery that Albert initially never thought possible. Here's the surprising insight. The best relationships in later life often come from embracing the present moment, not clinging to the past. While it's natural to cherish memories of a spouse or partner, trying to replicate what once was can close you off from new forms of joy. You may find that the qualities you need in a partner now, patience, emotional maturity, a certain gentleness, are very different from what you looked for decades ago. To avoid falling into this trap, give yourself a gentle reality check. Ask, what do I really want at this stage of life? Make a short list of how you prefer to spend your time these days, whether it's savoring a slow cup of coffee in the morning, gardening, reading, volunteering, or even exploring technology. Then consider looking for someone who shares or respects those current interests, instead of trying to align everything with the person you used to be. This can be as simple as seeking out social events or community classes that resonate with your present-day passions. The emotional benefit of updating your dating perspective is huge. You free yourself from unrealistic expectations and give yourself permission to discover companionship that fits who you are today. You'll likely find that dating feels more relaxed, even exciting, because it's not about living up to what worked for you 50 years ago. Instead, it's about exploring who you've become and who you can still be alongside someone who appreciates the journey. Now let's move on to mistake number 2, using a negative self-image as a dating barrier. It's more common than you might think. So many seniors let insecurities about their health, their finances, their appearance become an emotional wall. It can feel like you have to present a perfect front or else risk rejection. The result? You talk yourself out of even trying to meet new people, or you push away potential connections by hiding important parts of yourself. A lot of us grew up in an era where talking about personal struggles, health issues, financial hardships, or emotional wounds was considered private business. The misconception is that if you show any vulnerability, you'll scare people away. But here's the reality. Most seniors who are open to dating understand that life comes with bumps and bruises. They have their own experiences of illness, loss, or regret. When we try to mask these realities, it can create a sense of inauthenticity that's easy to sense. I remember talking to a gentleman named Vernon, 77, who had survived a serious illness. He worried that revealing his health history would make potential partners see him as too much work, so he kept it hidden. Whenever someone asked about his past, he danced around the details, shifting conversation to something more trivial. Eventually, one woman he was getting close to, her name was Nora, 73, told him gently, "I feel like you're not letting me know who you really are." Vernon realized that genuine connection requires a willingness to be seen, scars and all. Rather than push him away, sharing the truth actually brought Nora closer. She had lost a sister to the same illness and felt an immediate empathy for what Vernon had been through. The surprising insight here is that vulnerability, especially after 75, can be a powerful bridge rather than a barrier. When you own your story, your health issues, your financial reality, your emotional baggage, you invite others to drop their own guard. This doesn't mean unloading every personal detail on the first date. It means gradually sharing significant parts of your life with honesty and confidence, trusting that the right person will appreciate your courage. A practical way to start? The next time you catch yourself feeling self-conscious, maybe about a scar, a medication you take, or the fact that you're on a fixed income, practice this small reframing exercise. Instead of telling yourself, I need to hide this or I'll be rejected, try saying, anyone worth sharing my life with will accept this part of me. Remind yourself that most seniors also carry their own realities. You'll be surprised how often openness leads to deeper conversations and mutual understanding. Emotionally, embracing vulnerability can lighten the weight on your shoulders. Instead of always bracing for judgment, you can relax into genuine exchanges. You'll feel more at ease, and that calm confidence is attractive at any age. By being transparent, you attract people who genuinely accept you and gently filter out those who can't meet you where you are. If you're still with me and finding these insights helpful, please comment 2 below to let me know you made it to this point. And if you haven't done so yet, consider subscribing so we can keep exploring these topics together. Your support means a lot and helps spread the message that life after 75 can still be rich with possibilities. Now, mistake number 3, letting fear of family judgment hold you back. It's a tricky one. Often, the people closest to you, your adult children, grandchildren, or lifelong friends, are protective of you. They might voice concerns, do you really need a partner at your age? Or, aren't you worried about being taken advantage of? While these questions often come from a place of love, they can sow self-doubt and keep you from going after what your heart truly wants. Many seniors believe they owe it to their families to remain single or to prioritize only family relationships. But the truth is, emotional needs don't evaporate after you become a grandparent. Companionship, romance, and mutual support remain vital sources of well-being at any age. That longing doesn't vanish just because you have children and grandchildren who love you. You are still an individual with desires, dreams, and a capacity to connect deeply with someone else. Consider the story of Eileen, 80, a retired teacher with 2 grown sons. After her husband died, she assumed her kids wouldn't approve of her dating again, especially since one of them had once joked, "Dad's a hard act to follow." For 3 years, she told herself she was fine living alone. But she felt a daily pang of loneliness that wouldn't subside. Eventually, she met Gerald at a community bingo night, and they hit it off. Nervous about how her sons would react, she put off mentioning Gerald at all. When she finally worked up the courage, the reaction wasn't what she expected. Her younger son teased her, but in a playful, supportive way, while her older son just wanted to make sure Gerald treated her well. In the end, they were relieved to see their mother happy and engaged in life again. The surprising insight? Often, family members come around once they see how healthy and uplifting a new relationship can be. Yes, there are cases where adult children might remain unsupportive, either out of fear or unresolved emotional issues. But that shouldn't define your entire life. You have the right to seek companionship and joy, especially at a time when every day feels more precious. What can you do if you're worried about family pushback? Start by gently but confidently explaining what you're looking for. Assure them that you're taking necessary precautions, financially, emotionally, and health-wise. Emphasize the benefits of having someone to share responsibilities with, someone who enriches your daily life, someone who might offer you comfort and companionship that family alone can't provide. Sometimes adult children just need reassurance that you're being safe and thoughtful rather than impulsive or naive. The emotional benefit of overcoming this fear is huge. You restore your sense of independence and self-agency. You show your family and yourself that you still have a voice in creating a fulfilling life. The reward might be a newfound spark that energizes you, improves your mood, and even helps you show up more vibrantly for your loved ones. After all, happiness is contagious. By giving yourself permission to date, you demonstrate that life doesn't end at 75. It can still blossom in surprising ways. Let's move to mistake number 4, rushing into serious commitments too quickly. With the natural sense of urgency that can come later in life, it's easy to think, I don't have time to waste. If someone seems good enough, I should just dive in. But moving too fast can lead to heartbreak or finding yourself in a relationship that doesn't truly serve your emotional and practical needs. A common misconception is that speed equals efficiency, After all, in your younger years, it might have made sense to marry and settle down swiftly, especially if you wanted to build a family. But dating after 75 is different. You likely already have established routines, possibly separate families to consider, and certainly personal preferences shaped by a lifetime of experiences. Jumping straight into living together or making joint financial decisions can cause stress and disagreements that could have been avoided with a more measured approach. Let's look at Herman, 79, who found himself rushing headlong into a relationship with a widow named Patricia, 76, just 3 months after meeting her. Both had lost spouses to illness and bonded quickly over their grief. Feeling that they had so much in common and no time to waste, they decided to move in together. Within a few weeks, practical tensions flared, conflicting schedules, different expectations about housekeeping, money management disputes. Because they hadn't taken the time to really discuss these issues beforehand, the conflicts felt overwhelming. Herman confided in a friend, "I just assumed love would fix everything. But I'm realizing we hardly know each other's daily habits, and it's causing a lot of strain." Here's the surprising truth. Slowing down can actually deepen the connection and preserve harmony in the long run. Dating is not a race, and being mindful can give you both the space to reveal important details about your preferences, medical needs, boundaries, and family dynamics. A period of cautious exploration helps ensure you're truly compatible beyond the initial spark of shared grief or excitement. So how can you slow down without feeling like you're simply wasting time? You can be intentional about creating getting to know you routines. Set up weekly date nights, take short trips or attend social functions together, and pay attention to how your partner handles stress or communicates differences. Ask about family backgrounds, daily routines, financial outlooks. If you feel a desire to merge households, consider a trial period or maintain separate spaces until you're both confident. It's not unromantic, it's practical wisdom earned by experience. The emotional payoff is long-lasting security. When you take the time to truly understand your partner and let them understand you, you build a foundation of mutual respect. That stability can turn your shared years into a phase of life that feels both invigorating and comforting. You'll appreciate each other more deeply when you know you're choosing each other for all the right reasons, not just out of the fear of being alone. If you've stayed with me up to this point, please comment 4 below to let me know you're finding these ideas helpful. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love for you to join this community of seniors determined to make the most out of every chapter of life. By sharing these insights and your own experiences, you help others see that it's never too late to seek joy and connection. Finally, mistake number 5 may surprise you: forgetting to keep curiosity and fun alive. It's easy to focus on practical compatibility, health needs, financial stability, family acceptance, and forget that dating is meant to be enjoyable. Sometimes seniors approach dating almost like a business transaction, meticulously checking off boxes. Does this person have no major health issues? Is their family supportive? Are they financially secure? While neglecting the lighter side of connection. Before you know it, dating feels like you're interviewing for a position rather than letting your heart and spirit engage. Many seniors believe that fun is something for the young. But the truth is, laughter, new adventures, and shared discoveries are the glue that holds any relationship together. Whether you're 18 or 80, it might look different at 75. Maybe you're not going skydiving, though some do, but you can still find activities that spark joy and curiosity. Even something as simple as trying a new type of cuisine or exploring a nearby park you've never visited can revive that youthful sense of wonder. Take Sheila, 76, who was so focused on finding a partner with a clean bill of health and solid finances that she turned down several potential matches. Then she met Sam, 78, who wasn't quite as perfect on paper. He had a few minor health issues and was on a modest pension. However, on their very first date, he invited her to a small local jazz concert. They ended up dancing to a slow ballad, laughing so hard at their own missteps that people around them started smiling too. She realized she hadn't felt so free in years. There was a childlike giddiness in both of them that made their time together pure delight. Over the following weeks, Sam introduced her to a variety of playful activities: a watercolor painting class, a walk around the zoo, even a spontaneous afternoon of feeding ducks at a nearby pond. That sense of fun helped them bond, and the practical details they'd worried about eventually fell into place because they approached them as a team. The counterintuitive takeaway here is that joy itself can be healing and unifying. When you allow laughter and lighthearted moments into your relationship, you release stress, strengthen emotional ties, and keep each other motivated to work through any challenges. It doesn't mean ignoring the realities of health or finances. It just means balancing them with a willingness to discover the little delights each day can hold. If you're prone to feeling serious or weighed down by life's responsibilities, give yourself permission to schedule fun time on the calendar. It could be trying a beginner's dance class, visiting a local art fair, or even playing board games with neighbors. If mobility is a concern, adapt the activity. Maybe you watch a stand-up comedy show online together, or try a simple craft project at home. The point is to cultivate an atmosphere of exploration. You'll both feel more alive, and that sense of liveliness translates into a stronger, more resilient connection. Emotionally, keeping curiosity front and center reminds you that life, even in your mid-70s and beyond, can still surprise you in beautiful ways. It's never too late to form new memories, to share a hearty laugh, or to discover a hidden talent or interest. It's precisely this openness to wonder that can create a shared narrative rich in warmth and affection. Now let's bring it all together. We've explored 5 common dating mistakes seniors tend to make after 75. Assuming dating is the same as it was decades ago, hiding vulnerabilities, letting fear of family judgment interfere, rushing into commitments, and forgetting the importance of fun. All 5 mistakes can lead to heartache or missed opportunities, yet each also holds the potential for growth, discovery, and deeper happiness if approached mindfully. Take a moment to imagine how your life might look if you avoided these pitfalls. You'd enter dating with an open mind, ready to embrace who you are now rather than who you once were. You'd share your authentic self, including the aspects you once thought were weaknesses, and find that genuine connections flourish from honesty. You'd feel confident in your right to seek companionship, regardless of what others think, while also giving loved ones the reassurance they need. You'd move at a pace that feels right, steadily building a foundation of mutual understanding. And throughout it all, you'd remember to laugh, to be curious, to allow those sparks of joy to remind you that life is still full of amazing possibilities. There's a very real urgency here. Every day we wait, telling ourselves it might be too late, is a day we can't get back. The truth is, you deserve love and companionship at any age, and the window for making meaningful connections doesn't just slam shut the moment you turn 75. By taking action now, trying out a new social event, updating your perspective, or even reaching out to an old friend you've lost touch with, you'll begin to see shifts that affirm you're on a path to brighter days. Life is finite, yes, but that's precisely why it's worth seizing this moment. Which of these 5 insights spoke to you the most? Think about how it aligns with your personal circumstances. Maybe you recognized a habit in yourself, like glossing over your vulnerabilities, or you realize you've been too quick to move forward without truly getting to know someone. If that rings a bell, consider taking a small first step. This week, you could share one honest story about your life with someone new, or you could sign up for an online seniors interest group and see if any potential connections arise. Picture yourself a month, 6 months, or a year from now, looking back and feeling proud that you decided to step out of your comfort zone. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below sharing one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your own life. Remember, your experiences and insights can help encourage others who are reading this. Each of us has a story to tell, and by sharing, you become part of a supportive community that grows stronger with every voice. If you found this conversation meaningful, please like and subscribe so you won't miss any upcoming topics. We'll continue exploring ways to enrich our lives in the later years, covering everything from health and relationships to hobbies and personal growth. Feel free to share this with anyone you think could benefit. whether it's a sibling, a friend, or a neighbor who might be feeling a little stuck. Your support not only helps this channel, but also reaches seniors who might be on the fence about giving love another try. Thank you for spending this time with me, and remember, you are never too old to write a new chapter in your life story. Each day is a chance to discover something new about yourself and someone else. Keep your heart open, stay curious, and trust that the best moments of connection can happen when you least expect them. You have the power to create the companionship you crave, no matter your age or circumstance. And when you do, you just might find a renewed sense of purpose that lights up everything you do. I believe in you, and I can't wait to see the new doors that open in your journey ahead.